Austin people are great people. They're really nice. They're nice. They're not shitheads. They're not Hollywood people. They're not lost in this fake world of leftist ideology that everybody's trapped in. They're just people. They're just regular people, man. And those people exist outside of these blue bubbles where everyone's gone insane. Well, I used to be a part of the blue bubble. I was 100% a left-leaning person who lived in Los Angeles. I was 100%. I never voted Republican my whole life. I was very left-leaning, especially with like any social issues. When it comes to financial things, I'm a little bit more conservative. But at the end of the day, I'm way more left than I am right. But California went nuts, man. It's gone like full communist. It's out of its fucking mind. And their approach to law enforcement is so insane. It's so insane. The no cash bail, the letting people out for committing violent crimes, the fucking not stopping people for stealing up to whatever money it is. What is it, $900 now? I think they raised it. I think they made it a little higher. San Francisco is non-existent. San Francisco, most of San Francisco is emptied out of like big chain stores and big department stores.
I wouldn't even do stand-up there anymore.
It's crazy.
They ruined it.
They ruined the city.
Yeah,
I mean, you can bring it back. The structure's still there. But you'd have to have some hardcore Rudy Giuliani type motherfucker to come in there and knock heads.
Wow.
And nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. They're peace, love, and granola and fucking wear a mask.
What's going on, everyone? It's Talkskin here today, and we'll be reacting and giving some of my analysis on Joe Rogan and his kind of going off on the liberals of his former state of California. Right? He was talking with a comedian here. People say breaking news: Joe Rogan goes off on liberalism. Say he was a liberal his whole life, but can no longer support their cause because it's gone full communist. Right? And this kind of brought up this, the Overton window, or this meme where, the guy used to be 2008. He used to be in the center. And then there's his fellow liberal. Then his fellow liberal went more to the left in 2012 during the Obama years. And I noticed that trend too. And then 10 years later, he's a progressive now, but he still calls himself a liberal because they have taken over all the institutions. And now you and Joe Rogan right here and Elon Musk right here, you're centered right now. And the right's been there the whole time. Now, James Lindsay, I think I don't know what he is. I don't think he has I think his political affiliation is like, he's an independent, I think. He claims that this is happening on the right now too. And I'm not so sure about that, right? So we gonna dig into the comment section. Everyone says, hey, major right-wing campaigns today includes banning abortion nationally, which they are always advocating for, repealing the Civil Rights Act. I think that's a misframing on this guy's part, because the Civil Rights Act was only passed by Republicans. If Republicans didn't vote for it, the Civil Rights Act would never have been a thing. So this guy don't really know anything. Pursuing potential bans on surrogacy, gay male adoptions, attacking MLK. Well, I'm not saying we're attacking MLK. We're just bringing, here's how the right thinks about it. Here's how conservatives talk about it, right? Excuse me. I'm a little sick, guys. This is how conservatives talk about it, right? The most effective way to destroy people is to deny and obliterate their own understanding of their history. George Orwell. Thomas Jefferson's statue got removed out of the town hall in New York City, right? And people end of the day, he was a good founder. He wasn't a perfect man. No man is. And you guys attack him, call him a slave owner, all this, which is true, yes. But you use that to demonize him. You use that to retroactively judge him and not judge him at the context of his time. We are essentially doing the same thing with Martin Luther King, because Martin Luther King wasn't a perfect man, right? And if you want to play the same moral standards that you hold Thomas Jefferson to, he can do no wrong. He's supposed to be like Jesus. All right, well, then you open the floodgates for people to attack Martin Luther King. So this is all assumptions by this guy. This is liberal conjecture. The board things add up few logs to this pile. Well, it's the right of a country to protect itself, right? And everyone keeps saying far right advocates for an ethno state. Last time I checked, progressives were the one that initiated the ethno state. All I have to do is look at Woodrow Wilson. Woodrow Wilson was what? Allegedly the most racist politician, the most racist president in U.S. history. He federalized, segregation. The Democratic Party pushed Jim Crow laws, black codes, censorship. They're doing the same tactics they're doing now. The Democrats been doing it the existence of their entire party. Yet there's this false narrative that for some reason it's far right to advocate for an ethno state. Right now, the far left and progressives are pushing for an ethno state. They want to separate people by their gender. They want to separate people by their sexual orientation. They want to separate people by their skin color. Oh, this is black safe spaces. It's segregation. They're bringing back segregation because segregation was always a left-wing idea. So I don't understand where they get this false narrative of an ethno state. This is projection, right? And I want to go one more thing before I go into this next clip I want to show you, right? This is the Overton window that some guy put here. His name is Peace Dozer. I believe this is flawed because this is based on European politics, right? Because in America, a right wing American is more of an anarchist than a monarchist, advocating for a monarchy. Because look at this. Christian state. America has never been a Christian state. Feudalism, imperialism. I don't think U.S. ever took over places, but hey, we're the world's police. So hierarchy. Okay, hierarchy is fine. Caste system, no, because we went against the British Crown. How we are advocating for? See, this doesn't encapsulate America politics. This is all based on European standards. Because Europeans been around for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. So this is irrelevant up here. From 1700s to 1850s is somewhat irrelevant because right wing in America terms you're an anarchist. And the left maybe is right here. The left has always been this. Scientific racism. Right? Racism and patriarchy. Yeah. Now the left is like racism and matriarchy. Because they believe that, we were oppressed and now this is their sense of revenge. Right? But I digress. So I wanted to show a clip about how liberals kind of warned about the dangers of atheism. And I think this is the source of why liberalism went off the AWOL and allowed essentially progressives, communists to kind of take over their party. And
the early liberals were well aware that atheism was dangerous to the liberal project. They were well aware that, John Locke thought that atheism should be illegal as well as Catholicism. But he was just, yeah, I know, right? He was attacked by idealists like Berkeley for saying, look, if you create a mechanical universe, then God will die in the minds of men because he's not necessary for the world, for the universe to continue functioning. And Locke just like, no, that's not going to happen. Well, that has happened. That's exactly what's happened. I'm one of those products. I'm an atheist. I didn't choose to be. I was just raised in an atheist society, and this is just how I came out. And so it is absolutely the case that this has happened. So Christians, when I say, well, look, liberalism is wrong at the foundations, they don't get upset because they have a moral foundation of their own that is separate to liberalism. However, with the materialist liberal atheist and all of the dogmatic atheists, liberals, you'll notice are atheists. You'll notice that every single one of these hardcore liberal activists in any stripe, whether it's a radical communist progressive or the James Lindsay types, they're all atheists. Mm-hmm. Right? And the problem that they have with me attacking the root of liberalism is they don't have an alternative.
You see in the video, it seemed like, John Locke is like the poster child of what a classical liberal was. And he had some thoughts about atheism. And I think that guy, Carl, if I remember his name correctly, he expressed it pretty well. All right. This idea that, it's just like morality is just self-evident. No, it's not. A lot of morality is conditioned and you get it, you absorb it subconsciously, right? Just like a child, when they model their parents, they do it subconsciously. And I believe this is the kind of the flaws of liberalism, that it's based on rationalism too much. And the problem with rationalism is that it's easily swayed because it's merely a subjective lens. A lot of rationalists, and this is why I'm not a rationalist, they believe that you create things out of reasoning, where as an empiricist or as a conservative, you tend to think, hey, reason helps you discover truth, not create truth. And I think that's the flaw in liberalism today, is that, men and women are equal. Well, they have equal value, but they bring different things to the table. They're different attributes, just like in a basketball team. Every player is not equal, but they all have something valuable to the team to offer to be able to play the position. Every position is important in the context of what it provides to the team. And this is how I see gender roles, right? But these people on the left, they'll say, oh my God, that's a hierarchy. Well, yes, hierarchies are part of human nature. As Jordan Peterson always liked to alliterate with the crabs example, the lobster example. Because without hierarchy, you don't know who has direction, who has authority. Because that's what authority is. Leadership. Leadership is a hierarchy. But it's not, oh my God, we're going to no, it's a both ways kind of thing. A leader can't lead if the followers don't want to follow him. The followers get to choose who leads them, and a leader must show that he's competent enough to lead the people. This is essentially what politics is. And this inherent idea in that liberals have that hierarchies are bad, I think that's more what the progressives hate hierarchy because they think, oh, it's oppress. And then they want to judge people based on the fact that they have more power than them. But that doesn't justify allowing the weak to do wrong, to do evil. Just because you're weak doesn't make you just because you're weak and you cannot do evil doesn't make you a good person. I think that's the reality that liberals need to understand. But I digress. I went a long-winded way about going on it, but I want to finish the rest of the video. You already saw a little bit in the intro, so let's get more into the video.
I'm in the middle now.
I'm in the middle. I'm in the middle.
I never thought I would ever say that.
Never.
It only happened in this last year.
Right. Exactly.
I just went, I can't do it anymore. You know what I mean? People that you thought were aligned with you are like now like mad at you about shit.
They're in a cult. They're in a cult. It's got all. I mean, Mark Andreessen, who's a brilliant venture capitalist guy, explained it to me in very clear terms, like what the definition of a cult is, how you can get excommunicated, how you get shamed for having differing opinions.
That don't sound like the left to you, right? Remember when the guy Carl mentioned the guy in the second clip, how he says that without liberalism, what is the alternative, right? Old or classical liberals is what I would like to call them, right? Like maybe baby boomer liberals. They had something other than liberalism to fall back on. You know, maybe their Christian upbringing, even if they became atheists later on. Those things stay with you. But now we live in a society that's materialist, very atheistic, right? They took Bibles out of the school, and this is became the downfall of liberalism because now there's no moral basis to which liberals can ground themselves in. They're kind of like floating in the air. They're trying to make up ish as they go along, right? And this is how it became so cultish, right? Blocking people. I already showed the stats. I don't want to keep throwing it in y'all face, but y'all block people who y'all politically disagree with, and then online y'all pretend it's conservatives doing that.
The group think he's like, it's a cult. And he's right. He's 100% right.
Yeah.
It's just hard to say because then people in the cult will attack you. But they're not attacking you for a reasonable, it's not logical, like the way they're attacking you. They're attacking like someone attacks religious beliefs.
Yeah.
And some of these religious beliefs, it gets into these weird gray areas, like trans people in women's bathrooms. Like, says who?
Yeah.
Says who? How do you know that's a real trans person? How do you not know that's a fucking creep that wants to pull his dick out in front of kids? Because those are real.
And
if that guy was a convicted sex offender. Yeah. And he was doing that. Look, those guys are real. It doesn't mean trans people aren't real also, but those guys are fucking real. Yeah. And to even say that those guys are real, you get excommunicated. You get treated like you're a Nazi.
I know.
Yep. And it's sad to see what happened to the political left and liberals. You know, now a lot of them are politically homeless. And I think that's the result of you guys' decisions, right? Because for too long, Bill Maher is guilty of this specifically. Y'all used to take it for the team, stand with the team. The right is so dangerous, this, that. Because liberals are only good at criticizing things. They're not really good at defending things, right? Then when the progressives go, hey, free speech is hate speech. The liberals folded. Let's call it what it is. The liberals folded. The liberals folded and said, oh, you're right. Maybe some censorship is good. And then it became censorship essentially became a weapon to shut out and remove any contrary opinion to the views of the left. Right? All because, liberals have this sense that they need to look like the good guy. They need to look more morally superior. And every time I start talking about liberalism, I start realizing that maybe religion is a part of our programming, right? Like liberals and these atheists, which we kind of covered in the second clip, they talk about how free will is not a real thing. Okay, if free will is not a real thing, this is an atheist argument. I'm using I believe we do have free will. Then the way you're acting, how cultish you are, wouldn't you have to be as skeptical about atheism as you are about Christianity, Catholicism, what else? Islam, other religious beliefs? But you're not. You believe it the same way, and if someone challenges it, you take it as dogma. You take it as blasphemy. If you say God is real, I believe God is real, the atheists will get just as mad as a Christian when you tell them God is not real. Like, it's just two sides of the same coin, it seems. And the only thing that's consistent and the same is human nature. And that never changes. But I don't understand where they get this idea from. But let's finish out this clip and then I'll give my final thoughts.
Never even cared about it.
Didn't care at all.
Yeah, I mean, whatever you are, I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? But it's like, I can't do it anymore.
I think it's engineered. I really
By
do.
who?
By China and by Russia.
Oh, no, Chinese.
Yeah, I think what they're doing by manipulating social media, manipulating algorithms, I think some of it is...
Which is ran by mostly left-leaning individuals, right? Tech is predominantly run by leftists, right? So the bias is even more inherent. My view here is that if conservatives were the one, like if Christians were the one creating all these apps and all these fun things, and they decided, oh, I don't want these opinions online. I don't want this online. The liberals will be easily able to see it. Oh my God, they're censoring people that disagree with their beliefs. Okay, let's reverse it. Is this happening right now today? Yes, it is. Misinformation is always something conveniently that challenges or go against the narrative that the WEF want, globalists want. And globalism essentially is what you're calling for is worldwide socialism, worldwide communism. That's what a globalist really is. We all in common. We all have a responsibility to each other. And Christians naturally are capitalistic because we believe God called us to be stewards, aka, hey, I gave you this body with its strength and weaknesses, and it's up to you how you manage it. There you go. The 10 talent story illustrates perfectly what God expects from people. Essentially is individual responsibility, personal responsibility. Hey, you're responsible for this body. You have to manage it well. Whatever you produce from this, which is an extension of private property rights, you have to manage that. This land you own, Kenny, you have to manage it. Okay. And then you share what you can, but charity must be of your own free will. And the reason why I believe people have free will is that a lot of the red pill talking points, it takes this atheistic ideal that we don't have free will. Oh, we're a slave to our impulses. Oh, I see pretty woman, I want to have sex with her, and I can't control myself. It put this idea. It takes responsibility from you, from your intention. It takes away intentionality from the human being, and I think that's a very simplistic way of thinking, because not every man decides, oh, I find that woman attractive, I should try to sleep with her. No, men practice self-restraint because we have free will, right? We can go against our nature, our cravings, our impulses. We can go against that. Self-preservation, right? If we didn't have free will, there will never be cases of where people will lay down their lives for someone else, because the programming will be self-preservation. Oh, I must protect myself. I gotta let that person die. Okay. But we see humans break that expectation time and time again. So I don't understand where a lot of atheists get this idea that we don't have any free will. But I digress. I think I ran this video a little bit too long. Let me know your thoughts about modern day liberalism. Do you believe in this Overton window that I'm talking about, or you believe more of the Overton window that I showed earlier in this clip? I'd like to hear your thoughts about that in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.